Next up, we're going to look at how we can add featured images to our theme. You may also hear these referred to as post thumbnails too. These images are used to represent things such as a page or a blog post, and we have control over where these images will display. We can place an image inside of this blog post preview rather than just having plain text for the content and the title. To enable this feature, we go over to the functions.php, and then we can use the add theme support function to do this. If we go up to the top, we've already added theme support for the automatic feed links and also for the title tag. So now we're also going to add support for post thumbnails. So add theme support. And then as a string, inside the brackets, we add post-thumbnails with the semicolon at the end. We can test this is now working in the edit page or the edit post screen. Let's go to any blog post, click on edit post. Over in the sidebar on the right, we have this featured image section. We can click on set featured image and then upload any image of our choosing. I have provided 3 different images to use for this. So let's go over to our project, and then I'm going to go inside of our theme folder. So Tranquil WP, and then down to the images section. I'm going to drag over the featured images, candles, lake, and smoothie. So let's select all 3 of these. We can then drag these over and then drop them into the media library. If we now select one of the images and then click this button here to update our blog post, let's go over to view post and then to our blog. We'll see for blog post 6 that no images are displaying. This is because we need to tell WordPress exactly where we want these to show in our theme. We do this with a function called the post thumbnail, and since the index.php file displays this list of blog posts, we need to add it inside of there. So the sidebar and then the index.php. And then this image will be displayed for each blog post. So we need to add this inside the WordPress loop. This can be placed anywhere which you choose. And I'm going to add mine just above the excerpt. Let's locate the excerpt, which is just here. I'm going to add this inside of a div. So we can add a bootstrap class to give this some margin on the y-axis of 3. Close off the div. Then inside of here, we can add the WordPress function. So PHP, close this off. And then the function is called the post thumbnail. So now we've specified where this is to show in our WordPress loop. Let's reload. And now we can see our image just above the excerpt. This now looks a lot better with our images. But remember, there is also other templates too, which show our blog post. We have the single.php. If we click on one of these posts, and we'll see that this doesn't show our featured image. So we can also add this into the single template. So let's add this just above the content in the single.php. Head over to this file. And then the content, I'm going to add the same div with the class of my3. PHP. Then the same function, which is the post thumbnail. Now let's go over to the browser on the single view, reload, and now our image is displaying above the content. We also see blog post inside of the archives if we select any date from the sidebar. We also need to add this into the archives template too. So I'm going to copy this div from the single, go over to the archives, and then add this just above the excerpt. Paste this in, and there we go. We also need to do this in the search. So let's do a search for anything inside of here, such as blog post 3. We can also add this inside of here, which is the search.php. To keep things consistent, I'm going to add this above the excerpt. Let's locate the excerpt function and also paste in the post thumbnail. If we now refresh, we don't see a post image for blog post 3. This is because we've only set this on blog post 6. Let's do a search for number 6, and there we go. This all looks fine in this test environment because all of the supplied images are the same size. In reality, this would not always be the case, and there is a few different ways we can approach this. First is by using the default sizes WordPress provides. To see this in action, we can add any other random image to a post. Let's go to blog post 5, go to edit post, and then let's go over to our images again inside of our theme folder. And then we can add a different image which is not being resized for this purpose. So we can use cosmetics.jpg. Let's go to set the featured image, drag this over, and we can select this to use, update our blog post, then go over to our blog. So now we have two different size images. This doesn't look quite right. The default image sizes of WordPress are thumbnail, medium, large, and full. Full being the size of the image which we uploaded. These image sizes can be configured in the admin section under the media panel. So go down to the dashboard and then go down to settings and media. And here we have full control over the thumbnail size, the medium size, and also the large size. But how do we know which one is applying? Well, if we go to our index.php, for example, where we've added the post thumbnail, inside here we can specify which size we want to use for this template. Inside of here, as a string, let's go for medium, save this file, and then go over to our blog. We see that these two images are now resized to be the medium setting, which we just looked at in the dashboard. A second way of approaching this is via CSS, targeting a class WordPress adds to this image called WP post image. To see this in effect, we can remove the medium setting from the post thumbnail. Then we can go over to our style sheet in the sidebar. Then outside the media query, we can target WP post image. And then we can set a width value. I'm going to go for 75%. And let's see how this looks. Leaving each image to be 75% of the container width. Of course, we can go even further using CSS by setting any widths, heights, and using any of the power of CSS to have full control. However, doing too much with CSS can leave the images looking a little bit stretched or out of proportion. So it's often best to keep image sizes consistent when uploading to avoid any problems.